Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to go over some of my favorite books. I've been into self-development, law of attraction for quite some time, and I wanted to film things that I love on this channel. My first two were luxury related because I love Louis Vuitton and luxury designers, and then my next one was my love for crystals, and now I am going to share my love for books and just a certain genre of books and just self-development. That's just what I gravitate for. It seems to be really like popular, or just a very popular genre right now. I think with in today's world, just we needed more. I'm not sure. I think we always needed self-help type of books. I've been into them for a while, but in recent months I just really been into them, especially ones that are written by female authors, and I will get into that. One of my favorites, and she is an author, was a life coach, and I've just been gravitating towards her books, and she also has a podcast, so I'll go more into who I am talking about, and just books that I think that are good for just us females. Or some of the ones that I'm going to mention are for the female, for the modern day woman. So without further ado, I'll get started with the first one. Okay, so my first book that I want to mention is The Secret. It was my introduction of the law of attraction, and basically it just goes over how it works and what you need to do, and different stories by scientists and psychologists and physicists, basically saying, well, like attracts like. It's a universal law, and universal law of attraction. What you think becomes can become reality. If you think positively, positive things will come to you. And so I think many people know that. um, as far as, you put good into the universe, and you'll receive back. But it just kind of goes in more detail and more examples of everyday people, of them applying this to their everyday life and amazing things happening to them, basically. All about the action of writing things down. There's a famous interview with Oprah and Jim Carrey. I love watching that. I don't know why. Um, it was back when he was in his, it was back, the height of his career in the 90s, of, when he became like the big movie star. He was on her show, and he was explaining how he just had this thought of being, you know, an actor, a high paid actor, and he wrote down, or he wrote on a check for $10 million. And so he kept the check with him in his wallet, and he said, of course, it deteriorated. And it was when he made the movie Dumb and Dumber, and guess how much he got paid for doing that movie? $10 million. So I suggest, or if you want to, Google that, or YouTube, YouTube that interview, and it's just amazing that this idea, and how to implement it in your life, because good things can happen to you. I have a vision board, and I plan to make a video about that. Just everything begins up here, and of course, everything begins up in your mind. And of course, I do believe in God. However you believe, God, universe, the source. Of course, there's someone someone or something bigger than us, and I believe that God helps us along the way. If we want something, we put it out there, it will come to us if we believe and we work for it. And in the interview I was just talking about with Jim Carrey, he's like, well, you don't just do that and make a sandwich. In his words, you don't just, make a sandwich, or you don't just, write any old thing down and just sit back and wait. No, you have to work for it. Of course, him as an example, he worked towards getting that big check, and it just happened to be one of his biggest movies. And so with anything in life, you just, as long as you have that thought, just that constant thought of wanting something so bad, you're willing to do anything and everything for that thought to come into life. And with the law of attraction, it just explains, or in this book it explains what is exactly, and that if you believe it, it can happen. And I live for success stories of people just wanting, whether it be a dream or just a change in life, and just visualizing that thought into reality. That's all it takes, and to not get too attached to it. That's another thing. If you look up law of attraction videos, you can't get so obsessed and attached to it. You just have to put it out there, do the work, and it will happen for you. I mean, and it says it's not magic. It doesn't happen. I mean, nothing happens overnight, of course. Everything, I think anything good takes time. And so, yeah, this is just the first of my collection, as far as I wouldn't call this a self-help book. I mean, it can be, but just the introduction of the law of attraction. And of course, if you've heard of The Secret, you know that there's a movie. I still haven't watched the movie. I will one of these days. I think it's on Netflix or something, but I'm good with the book, and I still go back to it. I love rereading books. That's just me. I just, sometimes you just need it for inspiration, and you just want to look up something. I just love rereading and going back to it just to brush up on the concept, I guess. So, yeah. So, highly recommend if you just want to get into law of attraction, start with this book, The Secret. Okay, so the next book I want to mention is, this is my son's this is my son's tablet or Kindle. Sorry, I did have my own, but it broke, so I'm just using his. This is the next book I wanted to mention. Is called Girl Code by Cara, Alwill, Leyba, and she is an author, of course, and was a self-help coach. I just love her because this is not her first book, actually. I think this is the third or fourth book. She has books, of like 6 or 7 now. So it's called Girl Code, and it's unlocking the secrets of success, sanity, and happiness for the female entrepreneur. And I don't think, I'm not, well, I hope to be an entrepreneur one day. With this book, it's more geared towards the female entrepreneur. Girl Code as to help you succeed with your business, but I think it's a good read either way, whether you want to be an entrepreneur, have your own business or not. Background on her, she had a corporate job with MTV, and she hated it after a while, and became a life coach while still working at MTV, the typical 9-to-5 corporate job in New York City. And she lived in Brooklyn, so she had a long commute before and after work, and she's basically over it. I'm sure a lot of us can relate. So she, while still working, she became a life coach, did her certification after work, during weekends, and even started working as one. And it wasn't until she finally had the courage to just quit her comfortable, steady job, her corporate steady job that she just wasn't into anymore, to pursue her dream, which is to life coach and to help women. And it's very inspiring, and she interviews also other female entrepreneurs to share their success and secrets of what you need to do and to pursue your, whether it be your own business or just maybe a career change, or just a better person, a better woman, like a girl boss. So she just gives you the tools and advice without being too preachy, just telling you how it is, what women go through, and it's really all up here. And she does touch on law of attraction, which I like. I think a lot of successful people believe in it and use it in everyday life. It just affects everything in life. Positive attracts positive. If you that saying that I think therefore I am, and if you really think and believe you are an entrepreneur or anything else, then you are, and you have to act as if. And so she touches on all of that, and she's all about living your best life. Her blog is called The Champagne Diet, and it's really a metaphor for life, just to live your best life. Every day is a celebration. Why wait to have a glass of champagne on the weekend when you can have one on a Tuesday afternoon? Just live life and be happy, and do what makes you feel good. Don't let anything hold you back, or anyone hold you back. And she also touches on how important self-confidence is, and just to go for it. At the end of the day, just go for what you want, and to just hustle. She did what she needed to do to become a life coach. She didn't just up and quit her job. She waited until the time was right. And as a mom that does work, there's still things that I want to do outside of my 9-to-5-esque job. In a sense, I want to do more things, and it just really gives you the tools and confidence to pursue that. So that's why I love that book, or this book, Girl Code, and I highly recommend it. And like I said, you don't have to want to be an entrepreneur per se, but it does help in a sense if you do want to make changes in your life, whether it be with work or anything else. So, thing I just wanted to mention about her, which I like because she's so girly. Like, she loves luxury and champagne, and it's just glamorous. And so that's another thing I was attracted to her as an author person. And she has a blog, she has a podcast. Go check her out, because I mean, she's just me. I can totally relate and be your friend in real life, because there's really not a lot of self-development or authors that look like her or embody what she embodies. I mean, I'm sure maybe there are more now, but not too long ago there wasn't. The self-development books that I've read in the past were, written by men, and I don't know. She makes it fun. She makes it fun and glamorous. So, yes, sorry, I keep rambling, but check that out. Book Girl Code. Unlocking the Secrets to Success Sanity for the Female Entrepreneur. Okay, so didn't mention that some of these books are on Audible. I don't have obviously the physical copy. So I didn't mention that I have a love for Audible. um, the book I just showed, Girl Code, was one of my first Audible purchases, and I just love it for listening in the car. Sometimes I don't have time or want to sit down and just read. I do a lot of driving, so having the option to listen anywhere is awesome. I highly recommend Audible. Time to sit down and read a book, you can just listen, and the genre that I like is easy to do that. So my next book that I have here on Audible, which I actually do want to get a physical copy of this one and Girl Code just to have in my collection, just, you know, so I can have a physical copy to actually look and flip the page of something that I just either want to write down or reference again. So it's kind of hard to do that on the Audible version, but you can still, I mean, it still works either way. I just, I think it's good to have both. I think it's good to have both sometimes, depending on the book. So my next one that I want to mention is You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. This book is so, I recommend Audible, of course, but I just recommend certain books are just nice to listen to. Like she talks to you like she knows you, like she's your friend, like, girl, get it together. Like, if you guys just have to download it, or if you read it, the hard copy or physical book, you'll know what I'm talking about. Just, she talks to you like she's right there, like the way, I love how she wrote it. She wrote it like she's your friend, just giving you advice or suggestion. So trying to think of an example, just certain clips. Maybe I can pull one up. So hold on.
Badassiest version of yourself, whatever that looks like to you. The good news is that in order to do this, all you need to do is make one simple shift. You need to go from wanting to change your life to deciding to change your life. Wanting can be done sitting on the couch with a bong in your hand and a travel magazine in your lap. Deciding means jumping in all the way, doing whatever it takes, and going after your dreams with the tenacity of a dateless cheerleader a week before prom night.
So yeah, that's just that's the gist of how she writes this book. And of course, if I didn't mention already, it's her voice. So sometimes with Girl Code, it wasn't Cara's voice narrating the book, which is fine. So the fact that Jen herself narrates it is even better, because she wrote it and she can add gesture or voice or, you know, that type of thing, because it's her story. And everything begins with a thought. So in her writing process, she wanted to so everything begins with a thought. And her thought process, like, she was probably thinking it in her head of how she wanted to sound. So the fact that you can listen to her voice of how she wanted it to, or how her book wanted to sound and portray it to where we would understand, is cool. So I really suggest this book just to give you the confidence to be a badass at life. Just stop, pretty much like in that clip, pretty much says, just stop pretty much BSing and just decide that you want a change, and decide you need to do what you need to do to change what it is that you want to change in your life, whether you're miserable or you just want, or you just know that there's more out there for you. And so with her, she doesn't really go into a backstory of career. Well, she talks about, of course, what she's done in the past, and what I really like as an example in her life with this book, what I like that she shares in her life with the law of attraction, or acting as if, is that she needed a new car, and she test drove a Honda CRV and an Audi Q5. So 2 SUVs, one very expensive and one practical and affordable. So she just, compares the two. Honda CRV which is an SUV, is practical, good on gas, seats are okay, pretty much saying basic. The Audi Q5 on the other hand is a dream. The seats are amazing, the stereo is from the heavens, and everything about it is amazing. Of course, it's an Audi. They're not cheap for a reason. So even though I think she said she was a life coach at that time, or just getting started in what she was doing at the time, and was scared that she wouldn't be able to afford it, but she got the Audi anyways, because it forced her to hustle and to succeed to afford that car. And of course, she may or may not have it till today, but she ended up going with that car and was just fine. She was obviously able to afford it after all. And it's just those examples of how important it is to act as if sometimes, because it forces you to become what you want. Even if you want to become a doctor, dress how a doctor would dress. Research and read what a doctor would do. Things like that. And of course she goes into law of attraction in the beginning of the book, talking about source and God, and she has this way of talking to you that everything is going to be okay if you just believe. And I think everybody needs that, especially just having a tone in the audiobook helps as well, that you're not alone. It's never too late to do what you want to do in life. All you have to do is believe and get out of your own head, and realizing that we grew up with a lot of limiting beliefs, and we just kind of have to just strip that away, because when you're 5 and you want to become an astronaut, your parents don't tell you, oh, you can't, that's just not possible, you can't do that. You encourage your child that, yes, you can do that if that's what you want to do. But then when you get 25, people are saying the opposite, like, oh, you can't do that, it takes this and that to do. And it's like, no. In her book, it's just like, no, you have to erase limiting the beliefs of people saying be more realistic, and not to be more realistic, and limit you of what you can or cannot do, because it's not true. It's never too late to live your best life. And so I want to read You're a Badass at Making Money, because in this book, I think it was first, because it was You Are a Badass, and then her second one is You Are a Badass at Making Money, and it looks just like that, but green, of course, because money is green. And basically she goes into saying we need to get rid of our ideas with money, and money is the root of all evil, which is like, how is it evil when churches ask for it? I mean, we need money to live and survive. Yes, we don't need a ton of it. Um, it's always good to give back if you have an excess, of course. But how she goes into with money, it's just, it's an energy. I mean, money, a dollar bill is just a piece of paper. How you think and what you do with it is different. So I love that. I love that idea that money is energy, and instead of just asking for, like, let's say a dollar amount, just ask for abundance and believing that you have so much abundance around that it will come to you, because it will give you, like, money is a tool. That's what she says. Money is a tool to get what you desire, and what you do with the tool or money is up to you. Money itself isn't evil. What you do with it is what makes it evil. If you use it for weapons and to destroy something, that's what makes it evil. And then she just goes further into that example, and it makes me want to read You Are a Badass at Making Money, because she talks about that type of thing with with money, and how it is attainable. And I recommend You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. So another woman book is called The Woman Code: 20 Powerful Keys to Unlock Your Life by Sophia Nelson. This isn't narrated by the author, but that's okay. And so this isn't like Girl Code at all. I know I had Girl Code and then Woman Code. No, they're completely different. So this book pretty much just talks about a code that us women, codes that us women should live by, and it touches on whether, in all aspects of life, family, friends, work, and it tells different stories of women and their journeys, and just life lessons for the modern day woman. And I enjoyed it. It was kind of long, which is fine. It just touches on what it takes to have it all, and how important it is to take care of mind, body, and spirit, and also relationships with people, friends, family, love relationships, and important sistership is. And Cara Alwill, the author of Cara Alwill Leyba, the author of Girl Code, touches a lot, is the importance of sisterhood, and that it's important for us to stick together. And the Women Code goes into that as well, and which is true. I think we are stronger together. There's nothing worse than a catty, jealous woman or female in life, and I don't understand why it's so hard for some to just uplift one another. And then in this book, it's the importance of being positive and spreading positivity towards one another, because we are stronger and better when we do stick together. And yeah, so that's pretty much it with this book, and it just touches on all of that and gives stories of different women and their experiences in life, and that it's never too late to make a change for the better. So again, The Woman Code by Sophia Nelson. The final book that I want to share, I told you I would go back to her, and it is Cara Alwill's latest book, like she owns the place. And I mean, the title in itself is awesome. You know, just you hear, like, I feel like we've heard that term or saying before, like she owns the place. Look at her, like she owns the place. Like, I mean, love it. Um, but it's all about confidence, and that's where I think the title comes from. Um, being so confident when you walk into a place like you own it. So it's about, you know, owning your confidence, owning all of who you are, in a sense. And I mean, I love girl code, but I mean, this is just as good, if not better. She really dug deep into, like it says here, give yourself the gift of confidence and ignite your inner magic. And she opens up to the importance of being vulnerable and you know, being authentic to yourself, and how sometimes it's okay to not be okay, and to not be so hard on yourself. And it's just everything, like something everyone needs to hear, basically. Not just, you know, women, just, you know, anyone in general, that it's okay to be flawed. You don't have to be perfect. There's a quote of her, not an exact quote, but in the book she goes into, it's not about the fit girl with the designer bag and toned abs, expensive wardrobe. It's about the person inside and what they can give and give back to someone and others. And you know, this is just the outside. What's in here is what matters, and that's what she just goes over. And she basically just says, you know, it's all right not to have it all right now, but to have patience and work very hard for what you want, and it can all happen. You have to trust the process. And she says that a lot in her podcast. You do, and I have to remind myself, because there's many things that I want, and you just have to trust the process. Everything happens for a reason, good or bad, but it will all lead up to your end goal. And that there's no escaping bad times and hard times. You just have to work through it, and it will make you a stronger person. And she also said this in Girl Code, which I like, is that I just lost my train of thought. That there's no roadmap to success. Everybody has their own journey, which is so true. She goes into not comparing, you know, yourself to anyone, and it is hard with Instagram, social media, not to compare your lives to yours, and it's BS. People just put what the best content, their best selves, and of course no one's gonna post the bad. So you can't compare someone's highlight reel to your life that may not be going so well at the moment, which is just fine. Everybody goes through things, and everybody's story is different, but that does not mean that you can't have what they have, which is so important. And I love how she she puts it out there like that, because it's true that just because someone is getting married, buying a house, and you're stuck at home, living at home, still single, that you can't have those things one day. That's their story, not yours. And that you can still have those things, but it will happen in your time. And no matter what it is that you want, that you just have to trust the process, that it will happen towards you and to help you. And in the book, she goes into how to be confident in that and trust your gut. She always says that too, to trust your gut and your instinct with anything in life when it comes to, you know, decisions and going about your day-to-day life, that just to trust yourself, and that everything will be okay and work out in the end. So again, Like She Owns the Place by the Miss Cara Alwill Leyba. So yeah, that concludes my top, I guess my top 4 books. I couldn't find 5. I know it sounds better, like top 5, but I only have 4 to really share. They're just my favorites. I don't want to just include one that I'm like, about. So I just want to include these top ones for, young woman like myself. No, I just wanted to include these for, just, ugh. I just wanted to include these to share because they relate and speak to me, and I hope they do to you as well. So thank you for watching, and I hope you either pick up these books, download these books on Audible, or consider books like these ones. I mean, there's plenty out there. These are just my favorite, and I hope they become your favorite too. So thanks again for watching. Bye.